Hi, Pastor Nathan Decker with your hashtag Better Together devotion for today. And we've been talking about time this week. And I mentioned at the very beginning of the week that there were several Greek words, the chronos and the kairos and the telos, the idea about time being understood differently. One of my favorite understandings is about the time of seasons. That there are seasons. One of the things that we have done in our culture and in our society oftentimes is, other than maybe holiday understandings, we've removed the seasons from our understanding of culture. We simply just get dressed in a different way, or we ignore the weather. We keep going and plow forward regardless of what happens. We remove the seasons, and the more and more we become an indoor-focused people rather than an outdoor-focused people. When we put on some VR headsets and we go inward rather than outward, the more we remove ourselves from the traditional understandings of a seasonal chime of life. There's a time for growth, and there's a time for death. There's a time for us to love, and there's a time for us to refrain from love. There's a time for everything, Ecclesiastes says, a seasonal understanding of life. And so in our traditional understanding of the four seasons, within our Northern Western society, is this understanding that spring is a season of rebirth and being born again. And that summer is a time for us to grow, and fall is a time for us to acknowledge that we're getting older and things seem to be dying, and that winter is a time of death, only to begin again. The cyclical, seasonal understanding gives reason to many of the things within our life, and it's helpful for us to understand that. It's truly wonderful for us to understand life from a seasonal approach. So we're in a season of pandemic. That's okay. We've been here before, about 100 years ago, as a matter of fact. So we're in a season of kind of consternation and trying to figure out what we're going to be as a church. That's okay. We've been here before. This happens about every 500 years, historically speaking. There's a time and a place for everything. And from the seasonal changes, God gives birth to new things, beauty. As much as we look at fall as being kind of getting colder and darker and dreary, it's also the season of brilliant color. As much as we look at summer and feel, oh, Lord, it's hot, it's also the season of basking in that sun and enjoying time together as family and making memories, especially with our children. As much as winter is a time of seems like everything's dead and slowed down in darkness, it's also a season or a time when we recoup, when soil itself receives nitrogen from every single snowflake, when there's kind of a fertilizer effect, if you will. When the cold tells the world it's okay to slow down and restart later. We need to approach life with a much more different understanding of time. It doesn't have to be a chronos time, and it can definitely be a seasonal kairos season time. When we look to each season as an opportunity for that telos understanding, the kingdom come, to burst forth into the world. Take time today to reflect on time and be better together because of it. Amen.